Good evening. This is the March 1st, 2023 meeting of the Economic Development Commission of Old Lyme. It is 5:31 p.m. and in attendance are EDC Commissioners Mona Colwell, Wendy Russell, Jean Wilczynski, John Stratton, new Commissioner Terry Lewis, Scott Smith, Joe Kamian, and myself, Cheryl Poirier. And we will share if MJ DeRizio joins the meeting. So first I want to welcome everyone and our new appointee, Terry Lewis. Thank you to joining the commission. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Great. And our first order of business is approval of the February 1st meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? So Jen, that was Mona and then Wendy. All in favor? Aye.
I have to abstain because I never made it to the town hall, but that'll happen Friday.
Oh, okay. Okay, very good.
I have to be sworn in.
Okay, so...
so do I, so...
But you're okay on EDC. You need to be sworn in for your reappointment to tourism.
Oh,
so that's a separate thing. Right. Okay, so Joe Kamian's in attendance as an unofficial commissioner. Thank you for the reminder. Okay, so any noes and abstentions? And Terry, do you abstain where you weren't a commissioner? You were in attendance.
I was in attendance.
But not a commissioner.
But not yet, but I've been sworn.
Okay, all right. So everyone but Joe, who is an abstention. And MJ DeRizio is joining the meeting. Okay. The next order of business is officer election. And we haven't had an election in the last year because I think I became chair like a month or two before January of 2021. So we need to discuss chair and possibly other positions if you want to consider that for 2023. And then I'd also like everyone to consider what month should our 2024 elections take place, because, for instance, I am up for reappointment in 2024, which would probably be February. So if, for instance, I was appointed in January 2024, but then I'm not reappointed the next month, then that causes a problem. So if we could discuss, too, when you think we should be doing 2024 elections, and then we could just get that on the calendar. But the first order is the 2023 officer election. And I will follow anyone's lead who's done this before, because I've never been on a committee where we've done officer elections, so I don't know how that works.
Do you know how many officers we have?
We only have a chair right now.
Okay.
So we could consider a co-chair, we can consider a vice chair. We no longer need a secretary because we have Jen as our clerk. I don't think we need a treasurer because, if you want a treasurer, we can have a treasurer. But anything's on the table.
I think it's fine the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
We're a small committee.
Yeah, I support that.
It's not Congress.
Let's not make it complicated.
Okay.
The other consideration, however, would be if you're absent for some reason, someone would need to run the meeting.
Sure. So that would either be a co-chair or a vice chair?
Could be an acting co-chair.
Acting, okay. Further thoughts on that? Do you want to do...
Can you explain the 2023 time frame again to me? I lost track of that in my brain.
So
is this retroactive for a full year?
I'm just thinking it would either start tonight through December 30th or January 30th, or start it next month.
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
Probably should just, because next January, you would have another election presumably, and then it wouldn't be effective till February.
Okay,
It's fine, so.
okay. So, can someone make a motion or?
I'll move for the calendar to be starting in January 1st to December 31st as a calendar year. And in terms of appointment, elections, I would say make it in January.
Okay, why don't we see if there's a second for that motion, and then we can discuss it more. Is there a second to the motion of?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, to have a January to December officer calendar, we'll call it. Any discussion?
I think just discussion-wise, we have to recognize that elections are in November, and they sometimes bring with it a churning, not necessarily here, but in other areas. So we have to be aware that we have to think ahead through November, December, and have our ducks in order, because it would be good for the organization.
Well, your term.
Have a seamless flow.
Well, there's two of us up in 2024.
Right.
So I see your point, John. If whoever is in position on the Board of Selectmen, whoever the majority is on the Board of Selectmen in November will decide what's going on with us in 2024.
Because these are appointed positions.
Right, right.
And they're appointed by the selectmen's office.
Exactly, yeah.
For the 2024 calendar until November.
So the other issue is
March 1st.
that Cheryl and whoever else,
I think it's John,
Cheryl's term is
That might
up
be
in
John.
February, so
or January 30th.
January
Yeah.
30th. So if the election, we won't know in January if she's going to be on.
Listen, somebody
Yeah.
could get hit by a car.
Well, you're right about
So
that.
I just think we're making it too complicated. We should just say, this is our chair, we'll have an acting co-chair, or whatever you want to call it, and, you know, if people resign, and let it, I mean, we've operated like this for a while.
I do not mean
No.
that we should stop the train and
Right,
not
right.
do things, but rather be aware that there could be changes, and it's good to be prepared for the eventuality,
Right.
should it occur.
Well, and that's why I was just thinking March to February for an officer election. But if everyone does it January to January and
I don't know.
everyone's okay
See,
with
my
that?
thinking is that if there was a turnover in the body politic, certainly by December, January, it's settled out. And that's
Yeah,
why I'm
yeah.
proposing
That's-
a
And
would that
January
really
calendar
affect-
year.
Well, what can happen is, in January, what happens is at the Board of Selectmen meeting in January or February, they will announce in the Board of Selectmen meeting, are they making a motion to reappoint, say myself, or appoint someone else in my place?
Oh, okay.
So we don't really know what happens until the Board of Selectmen do their appointments in January,
So that
February.
supports your recommendation then, okay. So the calendar year then, I'll change my motion to March 1st to the following.
February 28th or 9th.
Whatever. Yeah. Subject to leap year, that'll make things more complicated.
What do you think about that?
Don't care.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
Seems reasonable. I don't think we need to go
Yeah.
into too many
Okay.
details.
Yeah, I just would have liked calendar year just because I think it's just more uniform.
Right, right. And I know a lot of commissions do that, but we've experienced change in the past that we weren't expecting, so that's why I'm being cautious on it.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to say the motion is for a officer calendar year from March 1st to February, end of February.
It's the last day of February.
Mona, do you still second that?
I do.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Noes? Any opposed? And abstention?
One abstention.
Joe's an abstention. Okay. So March to February. Thank you for that. And then we need to vote on first a chair.
Don't everybody?
Everybody jump. Well, we have a chair, and if you want a vice chair or co-chair, that's fine.
And you're the chair. Well, we have to
Then you
vote.
have to decide if you want
Someone
me
needs
to
to nominate.
continue.
I nominate Cheryl to be the chair.
I second.
Any discussion?
I pray she remains chair.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
You're blushing.
Opposed? I am blushing, yeah. Abstentions? You have to abstain,
I
you
have to
can't pray for
abstain.
anything.
That's why he's praying, because he's not voting.
Okay, so thank you. Would you like a vice chair or a co-chair? If I'm away, do you want me to just call someone and say, can you run the meeting?
Yes.
Ad hoc.
Okay.
Ad hoc.
Okay, ad hoc coverage. Very good, thank you. That's done now, okay. Phew. Okay.
I'm sure you were
Economic-
nervous for a second. Right?
I almost got away.
Like moving into like brain territory,
Economic indicators, real estate update.
Well, let's see. I don't think that there's any new reporting of new or closed businesses, the closed being more important. However, we still have a lot of commercial vacancies throughout town.
Oh.
We still have people who haven't been able to sell properties that have been on the market, or their businesses. I did notice today that there was a $100,000 price reduction over at, whatever they're calling it, the kitchen, the former silo.
Black Hall Kitchen?
Yes, Black Hawk
Black Hawk
Kitchen.
Grill.
They took a $100,000 price reduction over there. There's still no additional feedback from our friend over in Essex on cherry stones. I just think it's such a quagmire. I really can't imagine anything is going to happen until other issues are addressed. There are still environmental issues over at the Gulf Station, the former Hendel Oil, but there are no reports that I could put my fingers on because nobody really wants to say I own them or have them. They'll come up if the property transfers. So they did do some things, but they certainly are not, it's not up to standard.
Just a comment, MJ, the mansard roof on the Gulf Station has been replaced with new. So somebody's investing in fixing the place up, and I see what appears to be construction on the little office area on the corner of it.
I can't
I know.
speak to that.
Yeah,
That could be the current owner.
Yeah, they're doing something to
They're
make
doing,
it look
they're doing something
nicer.
to make it less dilapidated.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
positive.
So, let's see, so there was $100,000 there, no other changes on other things.
How about on Hartford Avenue?
Hartford Avenue, nothing has happened.
Okay.
Is anything for sale on Hartford Avenue?
No.
That little,
there are
leases, that,
on Hartford Avenue.
but there's also that, way down across from Kokomo's, the little, 84?
Yes,
Hartford
that's
Ave?
still in the market.
Still in the market, okay.
Nothing has really changed.
Is that a private home?
Do you know if
No,
Kokomo's is changing hands?
I don't know that.
That's what I heard.
But again, if you're in the restaurant business, you would know the answers to all of these things. In fact, I made a call to someone that I know was almost interested in this until they saw the original price. So I'm going to go back and see if I can find out anything, and then when I do, I'll pepper her about all this other stuff.
I can circle back to Kokomo's when
Okay.
you're done. And the little business that's for sale on Hartford Avenue is that Surf Shack or something like that. It's like a
That's new
clam
business.
shack kind of thing. Yeah. It's blue. It's a food
With
place,
picnic
Surface Shack.
tables.
Yeah.
And they didn't change the price on that? It was like 500,000 or something?
$699.
I think it went up.
No, excuse me, it's down to $550. It was originally $699, so it's $550. The other thing I can tell you, though, is in addition to the two properties that closed over behind the Citizens Bank building, 4 Davis Road, which had closed a while ago, and they don't know what they're going to do in there yet. It's got multiple offices. It was used for some kind of medical.
Is that the building where the school district used to be?
Yes, Fort Davis was the,
So
Oh,
that,
excuse me, Huntley is the one that was the
Okay.
medical building. For Davis, they've
so I
she
know,
must have gotten a business loan.
she has 2 business loans.
Yes, and she's done a masterful job
Yeah.
upgrading it.
Oh,
and
good.
It looks really, really nice. And the woman that now owns the building is using the entire building except for the one legal office downstairs for her business, which is daycare.
No, it's not daycare,
It's
it's
some kind of
special
learning
needs.
center,
It's a special needs center.
Yeah.
Special needs.
And there's another business, Shea Cantor has another business in that building too that's special ed related.
Nope,
I'm not even.
not in that building.
building?
She's in the front building where
Oh.
it used to be.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Huh,
No, she's not there. There's only one legal office downstairs.
okay.
The reason it looks like a daycare is because they have kids that are young, so they have like a little playground outside, but it's a
Right.
educational program.
Right.
Okay.
And there's a lot of them. It's full.
Yeah, she's
cool.
busy.
It's definitely full. So, those are good things to know, but the job growth is, up until now, has been all in med and ed. So it'd be medical stuff and educational stuff. Not even professional services have really seen any pop that I know of, and I talk to people all day long for different reasons. You know, the only other thing is that the job hiring at EB is really robust. And again, they contract, it's very difficult to become their realtor. They contract out with certain people that they hire for the reloads and whatever. Their policy is to hire from within state as much as they can. They're vested in New England, they're vested in Connecticut. Their biggest issue is that the people that come to work there are coming for 5, 6, 7 years, and then they bolt for better jobs because there's no quality of life for young people in the New London area, which is kind of in the COGS thing, which I looked at today, but I don't know how much they are really collaborating and participating in that. They've got their ducks to fry on the pier and everything else. I just don't know.
Yeah, well,
but-
and they're New London County, and Rivercog's is looking at Lower
Right.
Connecticut,
Right.
River
Right.
Valley,
Right.
so it wouldn't be
So it's
reflected
really
in
tough.
that.
And
Yeah.
of course, Niantic Cinema closed, so there's no Starbucks in New London. That's the first thing I hear when I show these kids. Where's the Starbucks? We don't have one.
Go live in
whereas-
Niantic, then go live in Niantic where there is one.
Well, you
I
want
know.
them to live in New London. That's the point.
I know.
We want them to live in Old Lyme.
Now, they don't make that much money. They make good money, but they don't make that much money, and a lot of them are probably first-time home buyers because they're young. They want to train them and keep them. So, speaking of residential property, though, put that. Oh, I did. Ta-da. So, for the month of February, year after year, inventory is down 50%. The numbers themselves are not big, 60 to 30, but down. Inventory is down 50%
Over the previous month or over
over the
last?
previous year.
Okay.
The year-to-date numbers aren't in for February yet. I can give you January, but they were similar to this. The houses are selling a little bit above asking price. The average single-family listing price, sales rather, are up. Prices are up marginally. So even though rates are high, the first-time home buyers are getting the squeeze and everybody else is just scooping up what's decent and priced right. It's still very low inventory. So now you've got this influx of people coming to EB, and you say, bring them to Old Lyme. Well, you would, but we can't.
Right.
And it's the same story in East Lyme, it's the same story in Stonington, it's the same story anywhere in the, except maybe Montville, although Colchester has a huge inventory. Just saying.
But in a way, it's, I mean, we want to have inventory, a realtor wants to have inventory, but the flip side of that is we're at, everything is sold, it's at capacity. We had 41 families move in during the pandemic, so maybe there's not going to be.
Well, there were 41 people that left, too. You just don't.
Right. So I guess
They
we don't
weren't
have
empty.
houses sluggishly staying on the market because no one wants to move to Old Lyme.
Well, I don't think that's the case at all.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the good news.
No,
We
the
don't
good
have
news
that.
is that there's still a lot of movement in Connecticut because people do still move to jobs and they want to downsize, upsize, whatever the reasons are. It's not COVID related too much. But there's no inventory. They have nowhere to go. And young people do not have what they want, period. You could give them a $10 million apartment, and if there's no Starbucks, they won't buy it. That's my point. That's the mindset. So it's not necessarily the housing as it is the quality of life. I don't know, Terry, do you see it?
I see it every day.
Every day. Like,
Every day.
what time does the bar close? 10? I mean, really,
Yeah.
it's a culture shock.
I worked in New London for years, and it was just really difficult to watch. I had to manage a lot of apartments down there, and it was just really hard to show them anything.
Mhm.
It was tough. It's very tough. And they can't afford to be this way at all. And forget about with multiple offers. You have first-time home buyers and VAs. They should be, especially the VA, should be right on the top for all of us to get them here and get them in. But everything goes to the bottom.
Right. Don't need them.
Cash is king right now.
So I don't know what comes first, the housing or the jobs. And I don't think it's the housing. I think you need to shift your focus a little more into the quality of life issues. I mean, we do have kayaking and boating, but those are seasonal things. So I think we have to think a little differently if we want younger people
Well,
here.
let me just inject something. My 32-year-old daughter, husband, and my grandson moved to town. They're interested in things like kayaking, but also in the winter, hiking, cross-country skiing. And we have open space, which is desirable.
Right,
So
but
I
they
guess-
grew up here.
Huh?
They grew up here. I'm talking like you.
My son-in-law didn't.
Yeah, but he kind of knew what he was getting into. I mean, I'm not trying to pick on you, but I'm just saying the general population isn't him.
I don't know. I mean, the population that'll move here probably would prefer that over Starbucks. And I'm just saying, what I moved to town.
Send that fire to Terry.
I'm just saying,
I will pay you to send that fire.
I moved to town when I was 30 years old.
But you have to understand that 36 is the average age that people and first-time home buyers are moving into this area because it takes that long for them to afford here.
Wow.
So 36 years old, I bought my first house at 26. So, and that was locally here in Old Lyme. So it's a little different now.
That's an interesting
lot
statistic.
That's very interesting.
No, it's definitely changed.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, I can't have my girls.
To other towns, like what's happening down in Fairfield County? What's the average first-time
Entirely
home buyer
different.
doing?
Yeah. You have a lot of execs that are coming out of the city that are making a lot more money. And so this little location area, and so we're right in the middle of everything, Boston and New York, so just the amount of money that it costs to just travel into the cities is taken into effect.
And there's so many more amenities.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the real, yeah.
And you can find housing in some of those areas when you're closer to the city. It's condensed and,
I mean, they still have low inventory.
yeah.
Even Westchester County, where the tax rates are ridiculous compared to us. They're still low in inventory.
Now, just as another comparison, my youngest daughter, who lives in Boston, for rent, wants to buy, she and her husband have been looking for a house for probably 3 years now. They've got enough, shall we say, equity, if you will, that they can go and buy a house. And they're looking at the market there, and people are selling falling down shacks that have been unimproved for 50 years for $750,000. A house here that you wouldn't pay $200,000 for, shamelessly they're asking $750,000 in Boston area.
Yeah.
So they're actually thinking about, what the heck, as much as we love Boston and the city and lots of Starbucks, maybe they'll move here. The question is, they got to figure out how to earn a living.
That was the case in, for example, Brooklyn Heights, good friends of mine. Everyone was renovating their brownstones. in order that they could stay in New York, even though it was Brooklyn, it wasn't Manhattan. So they felt that they were making sacrifices to be on the thin edge of the wilderness in Brooklyn. But the fact is, that turned out to be a tremendously wise investment.
Right, and they had jobs to do it.
And they had
Here.
their jobs already.
We have jobs, and we don't have people,
Yes.
because we don't have brownstones to renovate.
Yeah. I'm going to have us
Just saying.
keep moving. That was very informative. Thank you, MJ. Okay, business openings and closings. First, on Kokomo's, I know the owner of 58 Hartford Avenue went before zoning last month to ask for permission for our parking lot for Kokomo staff. So I know Kokomo's is planning to reopen for the spring. So I don't know specifically to your point, Wendy, if the ownership is changing, but there's plans to reopen, so.
Where do they want to put the parking lot?
58 Hartford Avenue.
So the point would be to get the employees off the street so that the street is then more available for people to actually park.
I think they have their own staff parking, but further away.
Well,
So, yeah.
well, the zoning shut that down about 10 years ago with another proposal like that, and they just said, no, you have to park on the street. So
Oh, yeah, no.
people parked on the street.
Right. Okay, the liquor store is open up at Point of Woods.
Oh,
Yeah, I
I
saw
stopped there today to try to talk. Yeah, no, actually, I had to pick up something for a get-together, and I went someplace else first, and then drove by and thought, oh, they're open. Anyway, I stopped in there, and I need to hear back from Grand Wine's owner. And you might know Grand Wine has what's next to the Big Y, and they have a place in Waterford and a few other
Place in Groton,
locations.
too,
Yeah, Groton, I think New London as well. I could be wrong. But anyway, they need to get back to me. They don't have a sign out front or anything, but the clerk thought it was either called Old Lime Liquor Shop or Liquor Shop Old Lime. He wasn't sure. So, just an employee.
Whatever, employee number one.
Yes. So stop in. And then Pappy's will do their ribbon cutting, but she is taking a Kate, the owner, is taking a well-deserved vacation. And they're actually going to be closed a few days next week. So I'm hoping for Saturday, March 23rd. I know the date keeps getting pushed back, but
That's like a ribbon cutting thing.
yeah, ribbon cutting thing for them. So I will let you know once she's back if we can confirm that. And like something around 11 o'clock or,
25th, maybe?
oh, a Saturday?
Yeah, the 25th.
25th, I'm sorry. I misspoke. Saturday, March 25th. Thank you.
Does the owner of the 4 Davis Road building want any mention of her new business in town?
Well, it's technically not a new business in town. She just moved.
From?
That little place in front where
Oh, yeah.
it's Shea Cantor, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in that building before, so it's not a new business.
Do you know her?
I've met her recently, because, I mean, they're right.
But she must have expanded tremendously.
I mean, ask her if she wants some sort of recognition. Okay. Was there a ribbon cutting? We did stumble in when they had a new pool room, so.
No, I think
We'll do
that,
it.
Anything we can do to.
Yeah, to bring recognition.
Show activity.
Yeah, very good. Okay. All right.
And are we going to do any kind of seasonal opening event for the businesses? Do they open on a schedule, or do they just stagger themselves?
I'm glad you brought that
The
up.
garden people, the kayak people,
Yeah, Hartford Avenue and all of that. What could we do to promote the summer season opening?
Right.
I think the town...
We could do a ribbon cutting of summer. Kidding.
I think that's a great idea. Because it's an opportunity for us just to list the names and when they're going to, and it will show that we'll have more than 2. We will have many. if we can make them
What
live
about-
up to the opportunity.
ran a little ad in like Limelight in the day and just say, you know, Old Line Economic Development.
Celebrates the
Welcome
opening.
back.
Welcome back, all of our seasonal businesses.
We could even do a Facebook post on the Town of Old Line site,
Right.
like EDC welcomes back our summer businesses and list them. We could make like a nice graphic or something.
Yeah, a lot
I like
of
that
people
idea.
like and see and like your posts, when you were putting out, the brochure and stuff, it was definitely getting a lot of traction.
Yeah, so we'll do a Facebook post. If you think of anything else, I mean, if we had a big budget, we can go around and give them all a hat or something, but we don't have that kind of budget.
We could drop off for everybody as they prepare. You know, please let us know if you're interested in having your business, your seasonal business listed. I don't know how you execute it. I haven't thought that through, but I just do think that it's very worth.
Absolutely.
It's good PR
Yeah.
for them, it's good PR
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah. What we could do is we could do a Facebook post and link it to a story
Right.
on our Explore Old Line site.
Right,
Well, that's good, because then you're pulling people to the Explore Old Line site,
right,
so you're marketing your own
right.
place that you want people to go to.
Would Frank Papalardo have a clue as to where the critical dates are for?
He might, and then we've got things like the Holland Farms,
Yeah, Holland Farms
Veggie
there.
Stand.
Right, exactly, yep, perfect.
I think there's
Cafe
quite a bit.
Flow,
There's a bridge,
Ice cream
bridge,
place.
yeah, the ice cream places.
Right, Hallmark,
Long Farm or whatever it is there. It never seems to be open, but, you know, they could have an opening anyway.
right. Summer 23,
Yeah,
summer of 23.
What-
Somebody could write a song.
What's the ice place?
Summer of
in
41.
Shawnees? The shaved ice.
oh, Vechetto. Is that how you say it?
Vechetto closed on Lime Street.
Right.
What is that called now? Lime Street? Old Lime Ice Cream Shop.
On ice cream shop.
They're
They changed.
seasonal.
See if we could dish up anything too on Kokomo's.
Yeah.
And do you know when, is Scarpetti is expecting to be?
Sapori,
Sapori.
they originally had said April, right?
Yeah.
Reopen, but I haven't heard any more.
I can check back in with them,
Right.
giving them a little space.
Bring them into the fold too,
Yes.
perhaps.
Yeah, well, we'll do a ribbon cutting just for them too when they reopen.
Right, okay, all right.
Good.
Do
Okay.
we have any of these seasonal businesses on the Explore Old Line?
We do. Actually, I can just kind of show you that. You're fine, Scott.
Gosh, there's so many.
All right, I gotta
Yeah,
look this way.
and
Right, which is why-
we'll have an opening for the summertime too, spring and
Oh,
summer.
there you go, yeah.
Where's that?
That's the sculpture
That was
place
the
up by
sculpture
the
picture.
Academy.
Academy.
See the summer fun? Like walking people's summer fun? On that, it goes down to all those summer, oh, that's ice cream,
Which
okay.
is-
And then summer places, yeah. This is the place that's for sale right now, so the shop. And I think on, shop, I think I just note when they're seasonal, like that would be, Garden. So let's see what Garden is. I just write
Garden
seasonal,
store.
seasonal. Grandma should be seasonal. So we can gather them all up in their own page and do a little article about that.
I'll look at that site and see how many are in each little category.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then you never know, there could be new ones. And then we'll have the new liquor store Yeah, and a good point about Gil Burrows' Studio 80. Okay, great.
And the inn, the Old Lyme Inn, is she going to be staffed full-time when the season kicks in?
We'll have to check in with,
Because
if they're on that.
that,
Yep, they've been doing their teas, yeah. All right.
and then
Good,
the Cafe Flow opens too.
right. Usually the first Sunday of May.
May? Right, okay. All right.
Doesn't need one weekend for all of it, even if it's staggered. Just make one big,
Yeah.
And that Mother's Day weekend, the Duck River Garden Club has their big plant sale.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of traffic, so I
That's
wonder if
popular.
we could-
We should help them
It is.
expand that, because they sell out.
Yeah,
they
they
do.
definitely
Every
do.
year I go, they sell out.
Right. But I wonder if we could dovetail our date around that event, because it really draws a lot of people.
Well, maybe they would let us have a little booth if we wanted to staff it, where we just have our brochures. We could have a summer fun brochure, maybe.
Yeah.
All our summer places.
Yeah. With a QR code.
Yeah, where's the QR code? Summer fun, Duck River. All right, let's talk about that more next month, and then we'll know whether to approach them or not for that.
Thanks.
Good idea. Okay, Eastern Regional Tourism District update.
Well, I haven't had my March meeting yet, so I don't have any update, but they're working on rebranding the Mystic County to the Eastern Connecticut, just Eastern Connecticut is what it is.
Okay.
So that's in the works, and then we decide, I think, tomorrow on who gets
Those grants you were
the
talking
grants, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, and I don't really know what else they haven't
Okay.
put the agenda out. So, I'll get that tomorrow, but I'll have more of an update. Okay, now I'll be behind, but that's
Yeah, that's
okay.
all right. Okay, good. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, town website. I'm gonna come back down here. I just want to help you guys be able to find things on it relevant to us. So, this is the new town website. You'll see we have a link to Explore Old Lyme right up there. These are the areas that people most often are asking about: when is my trash picked up, Parks and Rec program, that sort of thing. One of these is meetings, and that's agendas, minutes, and recordings. So that's the first thing I want to show you, because and there's news here, and then down the bottom is the calendar, and you can see, you click on, on the meeting you're talking about or thinking about, and agenda? I don't think that's an
Top
agenda.
right. That's not listed.
Yeah.
If you go into boards and commissions, it's there. I looked at it today, and then I had a comment about that. When I
Yeah.
clicked through for the agenda, I have it, but I just wanted to see what happened.
Okay, so, I don't know, it suddenly changed, but anyway, we're gonna go to meetings, and then this is an agenda and minutes
Okay,
section, okay? So you go down, and it's alphabetical by commission, down to the E's, economic development. Okay, this is going to be your agenda. Once there's minutes for the agenda, you've got this. Let's see what download is. I think we just click on this for agenda. So that's one thing. Okay. Now, obviously there aren't minutes yet, but last month, if you wanted the minutes from last month, you would go to February 1st and click over on the minutes, and that comes up. Let's see what that download thing is. Oh, you can download the agenda. There's also going to be, I don't see it here, there's supposed to be a third column, which is the link to the recordings. So when you go on, let's go back to, let's go back here. there's going to be more photos on here and stuff. But I guess it's back to the wider view. So you click on minutes or meetings, and then you can go to the agenda center. The other thing you can do is what MJ did, which is go to boards and commissions and go to our page.
I have a question on that. Why does it tell you it's taking you to outside to another site? Is that necessary legally? Because it's like why?
I know.
It's kind of weird.
I agree with you. There was a lot of back and forth on that.
Okey-doke. Just a comment.
Like it's an iPad.
Well, when you want to drill down into it, like who are the members and whatever, you get a message that you're leaving the town's website.
Yeah, my guess is that you're looking at a town website, and if you end up on a third-party website, you're supposed to be
Who's the third party if it's our...
That's the pro on
No,
it.
it says legal, they just put legal disclaimers on there because they want people to know you're not going to a town site anymore.
You're leaving
that
the
if they're-
town.
So the town's not, you know, so if somebody
I don't
sees something
know.
on that site,
People get...
they say the town produced it, yeah.
So like the fact that the recordings are on YouTube, they're not our,
Or even if you
YouTube's
go to
not our
Explore
town.
Online, see what happens when I go to Explore.
Well, Explore Online makes sense because it isn't the town
Yeah.
technically, right? But
No.
if you're going to other towns,
Oh,
things from the
I've never
town
seen
page, yeah.
Okay, so let's go to,
Because like, a lot of times I see those messages on other sites, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going there. Because
exactly.
I don't want my cookies tracked, I don't, I just need to get what I want. I don't need ads,
Don't check my
So the other way you can get to
but you get the point.
an agenda, agenda and minute center is here.
Right.
And then we have some of our current, our old survey and development study, that sort of thing. So that's really what I wanted to show you.
Maybe it's directed to.
Post the agendas.
I send them to the town clerk, and they,
Where you see that calendar in the beginning,
yeah,
there's an extra step when they post the agenda, you have to link it to that calendar.
right. And I'm surprised it's not on there, because that was the whole idea. It's going to show any from last month. This is another problem, it doesn't go back.
Well, you click on one of those.
Yeah,
The
so,
agenda should be attached to it, but that's a whole separate piece that they have to do when they post it.
yeah, and I thought we were doing the,
It should show up like on that side, or
right, okay. I'm going to let them know.
we use
it's
the
gonna
same
show up.
product in Bristol, so
Mhm.
that's why I'm familiar with it.
Yes, well, let's see.
And
Who
what's
else?
meeting
Maybe
from-
Parks and Rec would have theirs? Yeah, download agenda. That's what we should have
That's what it
for
should be.
tonight. I don't know why it's not there. Yeah.
It's an extra step you have to do when you post it.
Yeah, I think they just didn't check that box or something. All right, so that's that. Oh, I know the other thing, Okay, I'm just gonna stay up here and talk about Notify Me. Okay, Mona is gonna talk more about this, but, sorry, I'm behind you. We've been trying to figure out how to do a mailing list to mail, maybe quarterly, every couple of, whenever there's news, to all of our businesses. And I think last month when you both were here, we were lamenting this. And you actually sent us a list of businesses, so that was good to see too. Well, this website has something called Notify Me. And if you've ever signed up for like Tim's e-newsletter or news and alerts to be sent to you, we should be able to create a Notify Me for a business update. So we wouldn't have our own email list. We would create news events in our page. We would have like a little newsletter type write-up. It would probably be over here. We could have a folder called EDC updates or something, and then PDFs of all the different, March 1st update. And then people who signed up to Notify Me would get that emailed to them. So there's some drawbacks to that idea in that you've got to get people to sign up and jump through all these hoops to get the notify me. But then we're not managing an email list. And perhaps if we were to go with this idea, we could send out some sort of promotional piece telling people sign up for our news updates. The news updates would be on here, so people could look at them on the website, and people who aren't business owners could also sign up for them. You wouldn't have to be a business owner. So I'm interested in your thoughts on that.
Can we do a QR code that we promote to everybody and they could click on it and go right to that, notify me?
Yeah, how complicated is it to do
Yeah.
notify me?
Scott, can you answer?
You have to create an account.
You have to, have a password.
And couldn't you have that QR code in the clerk's office or anywhere where they have to do business in town hall?
I could find out if we could have a QR code to our EDC page,
Right.
and then we could have instructions on our EDC page on how to sign up for Notify Me. I don't know, what do you think about that, Scott?
Yeah. But just the drawback is that you have to create an account. Some people are not going to want to do that.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, every person?
A lot of people don't want to do that.
Yeah, because then it keeps track of what you want to be notified, because you can click on all these items.
Right, you can say, send me the emergency alert, send me the
Like I went
elections
in, put the new
update.
website in, I automatically went in to notify and hooked my email up to this commission. So like when she posted the agenda, whoever posted the agenda the other day, it came right to me.
Uh-huh.
And you can have it text you or email you.
Right, but you used to do that in the past. It's just a different format. You used to have to, in fact, you had to go and click through each board or commission or office.
Right, now it's all on one page.
Now it's all on one page, so maybe you can make people aware that it's been streamlined.
Yeah, once you create the account, you can click on multiple commissions.
Right. I don't even remember what's in there. Is it just your email, or do you have to have a name, or?
You have to do your email address and create a password, and then you can check off what minutes you want, like I get
Right.
zoning.
Yeah, I remember that. But it was just your, we didn't have to put a social security number or the age.
No, just,
You can't do something as simple as, and I'm not 100% sure, but so at our hotels, when you want to go on to our website or get on the internet, you have to, there's a page that comes up, do you want to get emails, blah, blah, blah. Can you do that for anything? I don't know.
You know what,
I'm
the old
not the
website
techie
would?
person.
Yeah, the old website was separate. This is just, it's organized into one page.
And then we're allowed to use their email if they sign up for that.
Sure.
And it creates a list.
That, I think, is a crucial thing. They're saying, you can send stuff to me,
Right.
rather than...
We have to do that.
rather than have real estate people bombarding them with commercial real estate opportunities that they didn't ask about, which is not a bad thing to do.
That's crazy. Of course we bombard them. After we drug them and hit them over the head and make them sign.
Houses that I can't afford, right? Right.
Well, maybe it's a hybrid. Maybe we have these news updates, live on the website. We can do a Facebook post or something, click here for the latest business update, and then you can sign up for Notify Me if you want, and then maybe we could use our email list that we currently have, which has a lot of bounce backs.
Yeah, I don't really know what's a good solution because, we'd like to ultimately be able to reach them because we can communicate great things with the business owners if we have a list. But I almost wonder if, since we already have a QR code for Explorer Line, and it's already like a business location, if there was some kind of database connected with that people are signing up for, and then it's just Explore Live, so it's not the same as the town system. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we do both. I mean, the town system is easy. Once you have the email written, it's easy to have them put it on our webpage and for them to make it a notify me for whoever wants it. But maybe we supplement it with Explore Lime.
Well, and I guess with Explorer, Lime could always link back, like, do you have a business? And then it could just be a hyperlink to get over to the town hall place where they could sign up.
Is there an opportunity to have a share this article or this agenda with a neighbor or a friend? You know, you read a newspaper and you say, oh, this is interesting, I want to share it with Cheryl. And then Cheryl's email is trapped by the Day or the Wall Street Journal. Is there any way to do that
Well, we
when
could
people, with the existing subscribers?
Okay, so we could have in one of Tim's e-newsletters, be sure to go back into Notify Me and sign up for the Economic Development Update, whatever we're going to call it. So there's that. We could also have in the news update, on the end of it, share this with a friend, encourage them to sign up for it.
Right.
I think to Mona's point, having an email list, I think we could do an email list of just our brick and mortar businesses. There aren't that many compared to other towns.
But when you sign up for Notify Me, does everybody see who's on that and their email?
No, no.
The administrator can.
Yeah. That's good.
I mean, I don't see us sending out more than a couple of things a year, but like this has come up over the last year twice now where there were opportunities for grants and stuff. And it would have been great to be able to just send them a quick email from us, from the commission. So.
Right, well, why don't we nail down a very clear email list of just our brick and mortars, which are really, you know, Halls Road, Laysville. There's only so many streets and only so many businesses.
Well, you'd want to get the industrial park
Right.
over there, all those people.
Mm-hmm.
The seasonal businesses.
Yeah. We have about half of the brick and mortars right now.
Is it raining?
I know.
It does sound like that, doesn't it?
It sounds like it. Sounds like it's pouring.
Was it?
Who don't we have?
We'd have to go back and look at the list.
Like in general.
Consultants working out of their houses and
There are lots.
there's so many, like that's the majority of our
When I
business.
sent you, I think there was 1,000.
Yes, that's right.
And that was
Yeah.
all, that was
But the-
social,
And the thing that's,
Secretary of State's list.
but not all of those are actually businesses in our town. Some of them are associated with lawyers from our town who filed for the business, and the business isn't in our town. So
Our trust,
even that isn't really,
LLCs and.
yeah.
Lots of them.
That's such a bad thing, though. You know, what if they want to expand, or if they are looking for...
But if the mailing address is the lawyer's address, you're never going to get anything to the company. Because they're not going to send it to their client.
So,
That's my point, is that if 10 businesses all have the same contact person.
And when we were compiling the list last year, that's one of the things that we found was our contact people. Sometimes we had a contact person who wasn't with the company anymore.
Right.
And that was the name that we had. So, I mean, we tried to send out last year for Midsummer.
I sent out a
and
few
that
last
was,
year.
You know, that's definitely the goal. And to once again just remind everybody, Midsummer's coming up. How can we support you? And I think Cheryl had wanted me to write a letter from the last meeting, so I sent her one that we can send out to everybody for you to take a look at. And where did you want to go with the letter? Like, did you want to talk about it tonight, or do you want everybody to get a copy first?
I don't have my email up there. where am I going? Going to my email. I thought the letter was pretty good, and I just was saying that we could add some graphics to it or something. But here you are. Yeah, Mona wrote a great, just a few paragraphs, so it's not real wordy and, messy and everything, but it's, we're contacting you today on behalf of the EDC. The Old Lyme Festival, or Midsummer Festival, is coming, and this is a time to have sidewalk sales and things like that, which is really good. We can support your business by including you on the Explore Old Lyme website, and we're going to have a table at Midsummer with that we can distribute your promotional materials, and then we're doing ribbon cuttings. I think it's a great email. So please connect with us to let us know your plans for the 2023 Midsummer Festival and how we can best support your business.
And so then if people write back, then at least we've got an engaged person that we can communicate with from that business. So last year, a few businesses were receptive. The letter that was written last year was like, if you want us to give out your information, drop it off at Town Hall. There was a basket here. And 5 or 6 companies
at least,
did.
Yeah.
So they were then thinking about it. And I think that's the goal, is just to get these people thinking about it so it doesn't come and go and they're like, oh, I missed that. Why didn't I have a sidewalk sale the weekend of June 28th and 29th?
Yeah, and we can even have something at our table. We're outside of Lyme Art Association in a booth.
Right.
And we could have something at our table, go to, this gift shop, they're having 20% off today, or go to this restaurant, they're free coffee with your meal or something.
And
we
that's what we
of
kind of
promotions
did
that
last.
day.
Our table was pretty busy last year. It was pretty busy all day. We got to talk to some great people. Some of the businesses came by to visit with us. It was fun.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Yeah.
Are they moving the date to June or July? July, right? July 28th.
Midsummer Festival. The festival itself is Saturday the 29th, and the concert the night before is the 28th.
That's what I thought. Okay,
Yeah.
because you had said June.
Oh, I misspoke. Okay.
July.
No, I was like, oh, they moved it, because I always know it was the end of the July.
How does the Midsummer Festival get all their vendors and get everybody involved? Do they have a list of anybody?
Each location has its own list of vendors.
Each location, like the Lyme Academy, like this, like
Right,
that.
yeah. So the Academy, and we're meeting on the 10th, so there's more to come on it once we hear what people want to do on the 10th. But typically, the Academy focuses on their alumni. Florence Griswold is now focusing on nonprofits and having activities for families. Car show I know the car show is going to be at the Audubon. Old Lyme Inn typically has the artists, fence artists, and then the Art Association had a mix of nonprofits, people like us, and private vendors. And then Flowgriz has the food trucks too.
Are you going to that meeting?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they reinstitute the farmer's market on Saturday morning? That was such a big hit. And it started the day off, and it kind of took some of the late afternoon crowds away too.
So the farmer's market went away because when the farmer's market started, it was the only farmer's market around.
Mm-hmm.
And then as the
now
years
so
went
there's
on and
one
farmer's
there.
markets became popular, they couldn't get the vendors for one day because they all have seasonal contracts with like Coventry Farmers Market. You have to be there every week. You can't take off Midsummer Festival weekend. Same with Tiffany Farm. I mean, I had actually, their first year, I said, would you consider having the whole farmer's market at Midsummer? And they said, no, because we need people to be used to, you come to Tiffany, you come to, like they just couldn't switch it all up.
The farm people, would they want to move down for the day?
Well, it's a two-way street. You have to both get the vendor, but you also have to have the location wanting to have that kind of thing. So,
They're also part of that Connecticut Grow, so they have to be in that stuff.
Okay, so what if you and I plan to get this email out to our existing list the week of March 20th-ish?
Okay.
We're just going to give ourselves a deadline, Mona.
I think that's great. The sooner the better.
Okay.
Do it. Yeah.
But these businesses that we've been talking about have all been sort of public, facing the public. But there are a lot of things, as in the industrial park and other places around town, which are large, and they employ people, and they pay big taxes, but they don't think of themselves as dealing with the public. Kellogg would be one of those. Big business, trucks here in Massachusetts at boatyards and things, but they don't cater to a walk-in traffic.
Right.
It just bothers me that we lose something, because that's an area of investment in the town that we don't want to forget about. If there's an open space in the industrial park, and somebody's going to put $10 million into it.
And an amazing fact of the employees that work at Kellogg, what the percentage are that live in Old Lyme.
I do not know that percentage. That's not
Very
very
enlightening. I can find out. I found out 2 years ago.
Was it good or bad?
Oh, they all leave. They come off the highway and go to Kellogg, and then they disperse, and then they buy their products outside of Old Lyme.
However, if there are people coming to the festival who own a business or a small business, they could be a supplier or a distributor for any one of those industrial park, Hatchetts Hill
provider of services.
businesses.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to say, we're pretty, we have this, we have that, but we also have a very robust
Industrial district.
Industrial district. And
Light
list
industrial.
everybody on a placard, and ask them if they want to put anything out there. Maybe they don't, so what? We can do it.
Okay. All right, anything else do you want to talk about Midsummer participation? Or, I think,
On the day of, that we definitely need staffing that day. We need people at the tent. Do we have a tent that says EDC?
I'm going to get that ordered. Yeah, we got our money now, so, got our ARPA money.
So-
And a tablecloth.
And I think what we tried to do last time was just like 2-hour shifts.
Yeah.
2 people, 2 hours,
Yeah.
or 3 hours.
I will be out of the country, so I will not be participating.
You'll miss all the fun.
Darn. You sure you don't want to cancel?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the Midsummer Festival is coming.
And I would be probably murdered in my sleep.
I'm going to circle back to ecotourism. I just want to check off real quick. I'll get the reprints of the 2022 materials, the little brochure and all. And we have money for photography. We need to think about that. Let's revisit that next month. I feel like this. We've got a few more things to get through. Ecotourism. I saw you come in with a map. So if it's
Just a
let's,
quick.
okay, all right.
We can talk about it, but basically,
I'm going to back up because
Yeah.
I've seen this before.
you've seen this before, but basically, this is sort of, as part of the Sound View Hartford Avenue rehab, there was an effort to designate, if you will, a biking corridor. So that was just one thing.
Jerry, can you see or have you seen this?
I haven't
Why don't we scoot it down further?
This was just, trying to make 156 more forgiving, depending on what the DOT could do. But that was sort of, we've got Shore Road. This is the old, this area is the old Baldwin Bridge abutment. The scenic overlook. And this drawing probably gives a better look. So this is the actual trail that This is the Riverway Trail project. looking, the intent was to come from the old bridge abutment, to come underneath I-95, come out along the Sound Wall, down Shore Road to Ferry Road, Ferry Road to the DEEP, then cross using the DEEP boardwalk, which Amtrak is now going to rehabilitate and could make wider. And the intent was to go on the river side of the railroad right-of-way through Watts Rock and ultimately get to the Great Island Boat Launch, which is over here. And I got to take a look. The electronic documents are with the town's website because I didn't want to be the archivist to keep them. So we got to find them. But I thought I did roll them out. I thought that I have the route all laid out on here. It does. Okay. I don't know why this one is drawn the way
Patching
it's
together.
drawn. So the intent was, come under the Baldwin Bridge, come back to Shore Road, here Ferry Road, to the DEP. From the DEP, follow the railroad right-of-way through Watts Rock, then through Old Live Estates, John, I believe the area is called, and then continue to the Town Landing, which is Town Landing Road, that gets you to Smith Neck.
So you're crossing all of this wetland
Yes,
and all of this wetland?
yes. And my rationale for this is DEEP built a boardwalk. If they can do that there, why can't we do that there?
So this is private property here, and the Amtrak train is actually the new bridge.
Well, no, Amtrak's got a right-of-way, but I think the town owned it up to the right-of-way. Back in the 1850s, or whenever the railroad blew through, they had a right-of-way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think their easement includes all the property to the south. I don't think so.
So this new bridge is coming over here.
Correct.
And they're actually shutting down
Aren't they beginning
the
to
state
close?
park. The state park's going to be closed for I want to say 2 years,
Yeah.
something.
Which state park?
Ferry Landing,
Right.
where you can walk on the, where you can walk on the,
boardwalk at
Somewhere around
Yeah.
there, it's gonna be
that's
closed.
called Ferry
Well, they're
Landing.
going to, obviously, when they're doing the bridge.
Are they
The
gonna,
new
oh,
bridge
just
is-
where DEP?
What's interesting, though, is the new
Not
bridge,
where
I believe, is to go to the south.
Marina is. 'Cause there's
I don't know what,
a marina.
I don't know what's going on.
We're at that.
It's going to the south, right?
Yeah.
So if it's going to the south,
Can't be.
can the alignment, the track alignment is going to change.
Yeah,
Do you know how wide their right-of-way is?
Chambers.
I haven't gotten.
Yeah, right in front of
Correct.
us.
yeah.
You come down all through here. They are actually leasing this property. From a private citizen, actually lifetime use, which is pretty interesting. This part here is this land trust part when you come across
Right.
here to here. This is where it's down further this way, is this town property there. Problem with it is that you would have to build something they call a 4 and 40. You have to have 4 feet up. You're going to have a boardwalk here. This boardwalk is along a harder shell, they call it, versus going off of this is soft.
Right.
And it's really difficult to get approval. You can have you have to be so many feet off the marsh. You have to have holes so the sun in every direction can come through, but they won't let you do a boardwalk like this. Just FYI, it's very difficult.
Well, this was put together by the BSC group in coordination with DEEP under their Trails program.
Right, and
So
then it
this-
got turned down though.
No. I had intended for BSC to do some grant writing. Never happened. I didn't contract them,
To do more.
yeah.
How long ago was that?
This was, is there a date on this? He's got good eyesight. 2013.
I think that the DEP regs have become more refined and altered since.
Now, what's also of
My Terry's
interest
still up to
is
date.
over the Baldwin Bridge, the pedestrian, I bike across it. That path is a trail. So this is extending, if you will, a Connecticut DEEP recognized trail.
Yeah.
And that was a big part. One thing that's interesting is, unfortunately, very hard to coordinate. This is the property that Grayville subdivided now. There's actually a big turning circle, like right there. It would be neat if we could come through there. There was a property here that was up for sale, but I'm presuming by now it was sold. And had I been able to coordinate it, it would have been really nifty if we could have worked all of this. Kind of went through there.
Yeah.
There are other things that are lurking, that will come up, that we have a long-range perspective on it. And that's the Watts Rock thing, which the Watts Rock people said, oh, we're going to close it on weekends. You might recall that.
They do.
They do
Yeah.
close it on
Yeah,
weekends.
They do now?
Every weekend.
In the summer, yeah.
Because they have volunteers who pick up after things. It's
Well,
not
they're tired of plastic foam packs
I agree.
from chicken
I know
blowing
why
in the
they do
wind.
it, but the fact is,
Yeah.
its purpose was to be available to the town, and it is no longer available to the town
Well-
on weekend.
So, yeah, I think that's a separate,
Yeah.
And
So
issue.
this
that's what it
is,
is.
we don't want to,
Separate
I didn't want to
issue that
consume
we'll
the
get
meeting,
into
but I just
later.
wanted to get this, maybe
Yeah.
we can breathe some life and bring
Right,
it
because
back.
if you've spoken about it, and I've never seen the plan, I've just heard your video.
I think it's an amazing plan. I mean, I work with DEP every day.
Ah!
We have to, with harbor management, we have to go through dock application
Yep.
after dock
Yep.
application, and my family owns Connecticut River Dock and Dredge.
Oh,
So we have
so hence you are an
Had
informed
to
party.
do a lot of
Okay.
this. This is a lot of marsh. I
Yep.
mean, this is amazing, but there's going to be a lot
Well,
of kickback from
yeah,
the
part of-
town having any type of dock, and a lot of bird lovers.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, they'll,
Bird lovers will
this will
love
be, this will be the banana
Well,
phenomenon,
yeah.
which is build nothing anywhere, nowhere,
Yeah.
no how,
Yeah.
But the railroad right of way, not saying that, I want to replicate their general environmental destruction of the entire Connecticut coast. Like Niantic, it had a beautiful bay. Nope. They just put riprap down and ran the tracks through, right?
Well, and
It's
the-
very
and the-
impressive. I mean,
So-
there's more than
So part of my
a
rationale.
lot of millions in
Yeah.
dock.
Well, part of my rationale, though, with this is Amtrak, Storm Sandy. This could be part of storm hardening the Amtrak right-of-way.
Part of, what did you call that?
Storm hardening of the Amtrak right-of-way.
They have to do something anyway.
They really should, it's something they should be considering, and this is a major point of exposure. So, it's something that I would like to breathe life into again.
Yeah.
I put in a lot of time
Oh,
to get this to
obviously.
happen.
Yeah.
And I was really quite chagrined when I couldn't get the consultant to, to help out as far as searching, because my feelings were fine. And we have a budget. We set up phasing to do this. And the objective was to get funding to be able to do the detail work, to see, what you can, what you can't, but somehow get it done.
And Joe, when you say we, who is we?
We was the BSC group that I worked with.
So you were
I
like a
did-
private citizen?
No, I did this kind of, as a private citizen, but as a commissioner with the EDC.
Oh, with the EDC, okay, all
And
right.
part of my rationale, and just the idea with this was, we have now a bicycle shop in town, we have a kayak and canoe shop, paddleboard shop in town, and what I envisioned was, from a economic development perspective for tourism, people could rent a bicycle and, bike their way to a launch point, right? And kayak back. And I thought that would be nifty because it would generate business for the bike business and the kayak business, and we could employ high school kids, young adults, college kids perhaps, depending on what was
Who's we?
appropriate. We can figure out who that is. I'm just saying for right now, I see a potential for an economic recreation that could employ young people in town doing the shuttling of all of the above. Because if somebody rides a bike from here to here and they take a kayak back, unless you can coordinate a bicyclist to go the other way, you got to bring them back to Station 1. So I called it the Connecticut Riverway Trail as a combined greenway, blueway endeavor.
Yeah.
So anyway, but
Well, I think it's in keeping
well,
with.
I'm happy that Terry is on the commission now. Knowledge.
See, Terry?
This is a very aggressive plan. How many miles is this?
And how much does it cost?
Oh,
$1
this,
million a mile.
So,
put it this way, you need about $100,000 for a 50-foot dock. You can